Okay, so on the last stream, I got a little carried away when working on the sprite. I knew that the hitbox was supposed to be 17 by 21, but I still got carried away and got overly attached, and now I have to rework that sprite because this is a sprite that came out that I drew and I fell in love with. This is the hitbox that it's supposed to work with, which you can see that that's just not going to work. You know, it'd be confusing to the player, you know, what damages the character and what doesn't, and it's just not the look we're going for, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to redo it and try to make it work, and if I have time, I may start working on some upgrades as well. Power-ups and things like that. Because my responsibility is the art and a lot of the story and stuff as well. Sean focuses on the technical. So, with that said, I'm going to put some music on and get going. Jackie! It's okay. It's my own fault. It was kind of funny. Like, you learn stuff about yourself recording yourself, which I'm sure you know. And what I've learned was that in the beginning of that stream, I even said, I'm working outside the hitbox. I know that I'm going to have to resize it. And then by the end of the stream, I'd completely forgotten about it and was just crushed when Sean told me it was too big. It's just funny how the brain works, you know? So I can go outside the hitbox a little bit. I just can't go, you know... I even have a system for this, but I usually try to stay within 2 pixels. And I like this super round head. I think I may just take this head. So it's all right. It's just funny. It's just funny how the brain works. How have you been? How's school? It's gonna look like a peanut. I know that feeling. By the way, Sean uploaded a thing on RAM for you, or on the something or other technical VRAM, whatever you guys call it. It's Monday. Mondays are meant for like slacking off. Yeah, Sean says what he's been working on, it's got a small bug. Snower is cute. Honestly, I'm still mad about this. I thought I was over it. I'm not. Yeah, he loaded it directly to the Discord. It was just like a quick video for you. I can just do, what happens if I just shrink it? Why you ain't got no head? I'll get over it. I'll make something else and like it as much. You can't fix anybody's, you know, grieving. You can only be there for them as they grieve. And look, maybe it's just as simple as like shrinking it like this and kind of rounding off the head. Maybe not. I just don't want to let go of it. All right, maybe if I just start chopping bits off. Like... I mean, I really should just be redrawing this rather than trying to, you know, do whatever I'm doing, but it's a process. Yeah, don't let us distract you from uni stuff. Uni's important. That's just nowhere near as cute. That's just all there is to it. I can change the hitbox size. I can make it smaller. So if it's like right now, this doesn't work with it, which is fine because we can make it smaller as far as width. I just can't go taller. That was where my issue was here, is I went too tall. All right, we're just gonna redraw. Share it with us. Actually, I think I'll make this bigger. Let's try to fill the hitbox. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was figuring when you said the website, when you were talking about mirrors. Yeah, please share with us. We would enjoy reading that. Sean was in it back in the day when the internet was still a wild, wild west. He had a website that was pretty popular. He even had like ad revenue off of it. So is this going to be your first website? Make the eyes first because the eyes are super important to me. Way too big. Yay! Congrats! I've never had. No, I haven't. I've had to do stuff for work, but never had my own. Sean's had tons. That's a pretty exciting feeling, I bet. Like, I don't know. Sean just got home. I often wonder what it would be like if I was born a decade later rather than a decade earlier. I think I don't know, I relate to the younger generation, I think, a little bit better than my own sometimes. And depending on where you were, like... Jackie says hi.
Hi, Jackie. Streamer.
Mm-hmm. I'm working on that thing. Jackie just is getting his first website up.
Oh, cool. Right now.
Yeah. I told him that was exciting.
Websites are exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to have a presence online that's not Facebook or something.
Social media.
Yeah.
You have complete control over it.
What, Jackie, what are you using for hosting? Like Amazon or DigitalOcean? I'm not used to have to sit and wait for the delay to catch up.
Maybe those eyes are too big. I like big eyes. I can go over outside the hitbox a little bit.
You can.
2 pixels is my rule.
2 pixels is...
That's what we did for Inky.
Okay, okay.
And I can adjust the art. I was thinking about that when you were like, oh, how's it going to look? I can adjust the art. I mean, we could use that if I wanted. Yeah.
Oh, self-host. Interesting. So what does that mean? Are you gonna have your own, are you gonna turn your own computer into a server and then do a port forwarding on your router or something? Or there's different options. GitHub has free hosting. I've used Netlify as well. No, I like Netlify. But yeah, I use Amazon S3 for all our sites nowadays, which costs us $2 a month or something silly like that. It's very cheap. Netlify is free, but I always worry that they'll just decide to start charging crazy amounts of money. Free services are questionable in my mind. But I'm shutting down. Ready for a nap.
Sean's had a big, busy day. He's had lots of errands to run, no nap.
I did all my chores. Well,
He did all of his...
I still have to do dishes one last time, but other than that, I've done all my chores.
He did an excellent, excellent day.
Oh. Cool. Well, good luck with your website, Jackie. All right, I'm gonna go lay down. Sounds like fun.
Sean's like a baby. He needs his nap. Like, there is no choice in whether or not he will nap or not. He'll either sleep sitting up or go lay down. Well, if you get stuck on anything, Jackie, just reach out to us. Let us know. I can't help with any, like, website stuff unless you want to get into, like, metrics and tracking and your traffic and stuff like that. I can help with that. But, not anything else. Kind of funny, like Sean and I that's where we bump heads the most. Is my background is marketing and he's like anti-marketing, anti-advertising, and I'm like, well, dude, if we're running a business, we got to do this stuff. He's got gigantic wheeled feet. They're too big. But we still, to this day, we don't do like, I still haven't convinced him to do any kind of tracking on our website, which is fine. It's fine. We're just a little business anyway. think we're going to do our first conference this year. Or 2025. So there is this conference in Milwaukee called, gosh, no, Midwest Gaming Conference. And they started off as like a pinball conference, but now they do retro gaming and stuff like that. So I think we're going to go and check that out. And may actually, I think right now we're in the process of talking to Inside Gadgets about getting a bunch of carts from them to do another release of Inky. Because we just sold our last copy. And thinking about making like 300 copies and taking them up there and seeing if we can't sell them. And it's just an opportunity to meet some people like in person and stuff like that. We've like met some YouTubers online that seem really cool, and you know, just kind of building relationships, that kind of stuff. We've done quite a lot actually recently. We also applied for the Nintendo Dev thingy. I don't know how the hell that is. Yeah, that's getting more into like my wheelhouse. My background is sales and marketing, and so conferences are my jam. I actually swore them off after my last job. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done with it. But going and pitching my own stuff sounds like pretty cool. I'm kind of really excited about that. But I don't think we're gonna do Inky to Switch, because like Sean had to recode it since he did it in assembly, I think, or I don't know. You have to talk to him about that. But the new game that we're making about doing a port for that, yeah, a Switch port. So it's like Nintendo. I'd have to look at my email what the actual name of it is. But it looks like it's gonna be a while before anybody gets approved, or it just takes a while. I don't like that either. Just going to do the same thing I normally do, draw a couple of them and see what happens. That's not bad. I don't know, we'll do just a couple other just silhouettes and see. No, it was kind of funny, like, we don't regret making that decision, you know? We definitely thought more people would be interested in it, you know? Making our game in assembly, but nobody was interested. There's like 5 people that were interested. And that was it. But a lot of good did come out of it. So, because like Sean will continue to use the music engine that he made for future games, because it just makes the advanced sound like just better. You can hear, like, physically hear the difference. Hi, Gabriel. I'm doing pretty fantastic. I hope you are too. I am using a sprite right now to draw my art. And we are working on a game for the Game Boy Advance. And I'm kind of brainstorming, well, not brainstorming, I'm trying to dial in on our main character for the story. And I've been working on this for many hours now. Not today, but just in general. What was I gonna do again? Oh, I was gonna change this. It's little stick legs. Mm-mm. Oh. Yeah, don't ask me how to change like names and stuff on YouTube. I just learned some things the other day from somebody who came by. They showed me some app that you could do interesting things in the chat with. That round head is what's doing it for me, that big round head, and it's just not here. I got rid of the whole bottom. This will really get rid of emulators? That is a great question. What is this game going to be about? We don't know yet. We know it's going to be a platformer. There's going to be a focus on exploration. It's going to be a game that we like to play. Or a version of a game that we like to play. But right now we're thinking kind of the story that we're leaning towards now is this little robot is a like an exploratory robot, like Oppie, like the Mars robot, and it has a little accident and it gets lost and gets adopted by the creatures or the beings that live on that planet. So that is our current storyline. Our last game, we didn't share anything until the game was done. And the feedback that we got from our Kickstarter backers was that they wished that we had shared from the get-go. And so that's what we're doing. It's not very exciting in the beginning. It's a lot of just thinking and trying to figure stuff out. But that's where we're at. Yeah, so we're thinking that one of the things that we'll have is kind of like a Metroidvania, where you'd have like maybe upgrades or something that will allow you to explore more, as you upgrade your character. And something like a flashlight would be an example of something that we may do. Like, there's an area that the character can't go because it's dark, but then they get an upgrade that allows them to see. And there are no bad ideas when we're at this stage in the brainstorming. Like, really, our creative process, what it is come up with as many ideas as possible and then narrow those down. So we try not to think about what's good and what's not good, just what's an idea. Put that down and then look at all the ideas that we've come up with and kind of go from there. Quantity over quality, kind of, or exactly, actually. Right, that's what I mean. That's one of the things that I was considering for uh, the character was some kind of vision change, things like that. Because we want to do like treasure hunting in there. We really enjoy that feature in a lot of games. And so, at some point you get quests, you have to go track things down. And maybe something that allows the character to see something that wasn't there before could be something. Like, what was it? Was it Majora's Mask? The what's it called? The thing. The magnifying glass. And see, I was thinking about adding like little plugs, like little places we could plug in. So that's the other thing I have to keep in mind, is that if we're going to do upgrades, I need to leave space for those. Lens of Truth. There you go, Jackie. Thank you. I love that feeling when you're playing a game and you're like, what is that? What is that thing? And you can't do anything with it, and it's just like bugging you, and you're like, all right, fine, I'll come back to it later. And then you eventually come back to it and you're like, oh, it's for this. I get it now. I really like that feeling. I kind of like their little hat. That's kind of something. I may scoop this whole head in. Yeah, so one of the challenges of developing for the GBA is that we have a limited number of buttons and commands from there. So trying to decide how we're going to implement the different power-ups is going to be interesting. So one thing we were thinking about doing is something kind of like Zelda 2, where you can like choose the items that go into I guess, that you're able to use or whatever. So like you would have to choose before you start the level possibly, like what upgrades you want. How did I do that other ones? I outlined it. I'm gonna bring these arms in one notch over. I mean, even just, you know, the restriction of size. Right, so like the B button would be the ability. So, but that also means that we can't use that button for other things. But then you would have to find a way to cycle through the ability as well. Which I did a mock-up somewhere of kind of some ideas. For what we could do. What? But to be honest, I think what our next step after me just getting like some kind of version of this character done is starting to work that out. Like once we know what abilities we want to go with, it'll kind of help then work out how we want to do the UI with it. Thought I had a different light or dark. The down button could be cycled through, but that would mean also, let's say we have, I mean, I guess you could change it. You could make it, but you would run into things like, let's say we have a climbing, let's say we have a fence or something like that, or a vine that the character climbs up. We'll use up and down for that, right? So what happens when you're on the vine and you want to cycle through? What do you do? And I mean, there may not be no issue there. I'm not the programmer of our project. That's my husband, but it's just interesting problems to think about. But we could also, the good thing about with the GBA compared to some of the older systems, that we do have trigger buttons. So it won't be as restrictive some things. I'm not hating this. That's kind of cute. The battery's flat. Yeah, coffee gives me anxiety as well. That's why I drink tea. Hot coffee is no good for my stomach. Hi, Mohammed. Have your coffee break, Gabriel. We are working on a platformer for the GBA. This will be our second GBA game. The first one we made was a puzzle adventure game. And then this one will be more of a, maybe like Metroidvania feel. Maybe it's acid reflux. I don't know, it just upsets my stomach. It makes my stomach hurt. And Mohammed, what I'm working on now is the main character. We're really in the beginning stages of this project, so I've been brainstorming characters for a while now, and I finally found one that I like, but then I drew it the wrong size for the hitbox. So now I'm redoing it. And I think I may go with this one for a minute and just see what some different upgrades would look like. Because I'm thinking different things that could be upgraded would be the battery, the arms, the legs. We could have attachments to the side and top of the head. When was the last time I've seen a floppy disk? I could probably find one. I could probably find one somewhere in my house. No joke. Don't ask me why I hold on to them. I don't even have anything I could use them with. All right, I'm gonna start with upgrading the legs. Let's see. What would we do? We do like some kind of maybe a big jump, something that would allow jumps. So like a spring. Okay, I have to look and see what a spring looks like. Yeah, it's interesting seeing Sounds like a fun project. I actually think the spring should come up here. And then maybe attach the legs onto that. It's an interesting experience, seeing things that you grew up with becoming retro. I mean, everyone's gonna hit it one day if they're lucky. I don't know why I hold on to my floppy disk. There's absolutely no reason to hold on to it. Absolutely no reason. I think each leg would need a coil. The sprite size is gonna kill me, man. It's just gonna kill me. Yeah, I probably have clothing older than you, Gabriel. Try not to think too much about color right now because I'll come back. That just does not look like a freaking... I don't know how I'm going to do a spring in 2 pixels, man. I just don't know. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying that stuff because, I don't know, it's fun to get nostalgic with people. Even though not everyone's experiencing it as nostalgia. Some people are experiencing it as something new. I'm looking at pictures of springs. My husband is doing the programming and he is doing this one in C. Yeah, Gabriel, that is all above me, man. I am not the technical person of the team. You know, I just redo what I just had with smaller feet, didn't I? I've only soldered once, and that was for stained glass. All right, well, I'm thinking right now, we've already got some things like kind of worked out. We have some basic mechanics that we can plug in later. And I was thinking jumping higher, that's usually a pretty basic thing that's going to happen in a game. So I'm trying to think of just ways to communicate that upgrade that you can jump higher. I don't know, we'll see. I think I'm gonna turn this guy all 4 directions. And then start building his upgrades. Be honest, man, I'm gonna say something that's probably irritate people. I don't get the CRT thing, man. I don't. I mean, it's kind of like nostalgic to look at, but I have bad visions. I'm like, I don't need any extra. We played a game recently. It was a pretty good game, but they even had like an effect that gave the CRT effect to the art, and I was like, nah, man, I'm not doing this. Turn it off. Like, that's one of the things I'm like, no, why would you use this? Like, just, it was better before. Or it's better now, like, don't go back. Yeah, I have a eye condition that's not so great, and it messes with my eyes a lot. I have a astigmatism and nearsighted, and just all sorts of fun stuff. Comes down to there. Tygosin superficial punctate keratinitis, or TSPK, is the name of the disease. Whoa, wait, what? 2 is a lot? I can't increase the hitbox. I mean, I try to talk Sean into it, but for the look that we're going for our game, if I increase the hitbox, it's going to change what the levels are going to look like. So I have an option here. I can... who codes? My husband. He's doing it in C. Our last game he did in assembly. He knows his stuff. He's good. You can look on our channel. He's got a couple videos up. He's not really big on doing videos. He's a little bit of an introvert, but program is what he does. He's been doing it since he was 11. I mean, could we increase the hitbox? Yes, but it won't have the look that we're looking for the game. I don't even know what opcodes is. I would ask him, but he is napping right now. Dave! Dude, I'm so sorry about the other night. My mom was having some issues, and I needed to take care of her. I completely lost track of time. Dave, can you tell me what opcodes are? Nice. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now you're saying something I actually know what it is. Trying to figure out to catch you up, Dave. I've been working on character art now for like ever and a day. And I finally got one I liked. And then I found out that it is the wrong size. I didn't find out. I had forgotten that it was the wrong size, and I got really sad. Chop and shrink? Yeah, I kind of tried that. Like, I can't shrink. I mean, my hitbox is. I'm trying to. Well, cause like, all right. So this is the character that I drew that I fell in love with, right? So the blue box represents the hitbox that we're going to be using, which is 11. Wait, it's 17 by 21. Now I can change that slightly, but Sean said I can't get taller. And then the sprite, you know, this is the hitbox. Like, this just doesn't make sense, you know? I mean, it wouldn't be fair to the character, and it would probably make doing the art kind of weird because we have places where, you know, the character can only walk through this, you know, 11 by or 17 by 21 space. Now, I can change the art to make it work, but that would change the way that we do our levels because the GBA screen is what, 240 by 160? So, you know, just by keeping those pixels, I'm losing the use elsewhere. Yeah, I went through different phases. I like flattened the head. I went through a few different things. This is kind of where I'm at now. Now I'm trying to, like, just seeing what would look like the character's going to look differently. Because, I mean, it's a platformer. There's not going to be too many scenarios where the character's actually facing forward. So now I'm playing with that. The thing I'm thinking about now, though, is how much do I want like what facing forward look do I want for this character? So right now they're turned completely perpendicular to where, compared to front facing, I turned them 90 degrees. But I was thinking that these little plugs on the side of their ears or side of their head would provide a space to kind of give that an eye looking space. That would be interesting, but I don't think it's as cute. And I think turning it just slightly to the side will be more interesting. Stickery type thing, a moving sticker. Let's just complicate things, Dave. Let's just make it even harder. I mean, right now I'm just trying lots of things to see what happens. I mean, I do not care for that really at all. Because this character I'm imagining isn't going to be walking like a bipedal. I imagine it to be moving more like on wheels. Dave, you and me, man. Right? I've been thinking about Oppie. That's where the new storyline's coming from, is Oppie. So let me pull up an image of Mario from Mario 3. Yeah, they don't... Mario's only slightly, like 45 degree. You can still see both eyes. I think. Yeah, so right now that's kind of, Dave, that's kind of storyline that we're thinking about is, you know, you have, I've been thinking about Oppie, poor little Oppie, being sent off to go explore, and then Oppie's just kind of thrown away. Like, that's what kind of happens. And in this story that I'm thinking of right now is, you know, Oppie, or it's not Oppie though, by the way, like we're going to come up with a different name, but this little roving or exploratory robot goes off to explore, gets into some kind of trouble, and then gets saved or adopted by the creatures that live on that planet. And maybe it doesn't know that where it came from, but it has an overwhelming urge to explore and map. Yeah, I went back and read about Oppie and about got all teary-eyed again. When Oppie was, it's getting dark. My battery's running low. It's so sad. Well, don't get anxiety from your cappuccino, Gabriel. We also thought it'd be kind of funny if Oppie, or not Oppie, whatever my little robot's name is, has an urge to probe people. Because they want to take samples. That's what they're there for, is to take samples, which they may not know why they want to do this. It's good that you stopped yourself. Thinking I need to move that whole hand forward. It's good to take a moment, take a deep breath when that happens. These legs seem to be overlapping. Not turning, just I'm trying to think about what it's going to look like when it's actually moving through the game. I'm not a fan of this one in the middle. I think it's a little bit, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just the kind of experimenting to see what works. I'm not like overly thrilled with what I've got here. But like I said, it's just a lot of experimentation until I figure it out. You know, I just keep drawing and drawing until we find the thing that makes sense. That's right, add a little line here. And I like it less. Yeah, it's not exciting to watch, I would agree. This is, like I said, we had from our last Kickstarter, that was the feedback. People wanted to see the process from the beginning. I'm like, all right, I'll show the process. It's not exciting. It's a lot of, I mean, if you look back through here, this is like my 8th session doing this, and I usually work for about anywhere between, you know, hour to hour, 2 hours. But it's nice to have that record. I am learning things about my workflow. And I meet interesting people. That can happen. Yeah, we've met lots of interesting people on here. You're one of them, absolutely. Made some friends, all sorts of good stuff. What do I find interesting about you, Gabriel? Is that what you're asking? I think anybody's interesting if you talk to them long enough and hear about things. I mean, you had a lot of interesting projects that you're working on. If you're interested in retro gaming. I'm just not. It's also missing the other arm that it has. It just has one arm right now. All right. One thing I was thinking about. So when doing the animation, what if I did the arms behind? I have no idea. I can say nothing about them. So one thing I was thinking is, what if the arms just kind of drag behind? Oh, thanks for catching that. I'll fix that. Yeah, our goal isn't really, we try to limit how much energy we put into YouTube. I mean, it's a marketing effort, but like, we want to make games, not videos. And it's really easy to kind of fall into the latter. So I try to, anytime I do things, do them quickly on here and not put too much thought into it, because, like I said, we want to make games. So the theme, what we're kind of working on is, well, I mean, it's not Jam. This is like the game that we're making. So the theme that we're playing with now is a exploratory robot, you know, like Oppie or what was the other one? Odyssey, and the new one that's over there now. But the idea is that this little robot was sent out to explore a planet and then runs into some trouble. And gets adopted by That's kind of weird. It gets adopted by the creatures on that planet and put to work by them. So that's as far as we've gotten. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's kind of interesting how much you can build and not have an idea yet. But yeah, that's what my job is. My job is coming up with the storyline and the art while Sean's working on all the technical stuff. And right now I'm kind of feeling this little robot gets raised by the creatures on this planet, and then after that there's a few different things I've been kind of tossing out around in my head. Like maybe this robot falls into a hole. It's like Oppie. It loses its power, gets fixed by these aliens, but you know, now it doesn't know where it is anymore. It doesn't know what it is, where it came from. How is it put to use with this new planet, you know? So this is a bigger challenge than what we did with Inky and the Alien Aquarium. That was a puzzle game. In fact, we came up with the storyline absolutely last. Because we had all the puzzles made ahead of time. And this time, doing a platformer, everything's like all mixed together. Like you can't... The upgrades that this character gets are going to impact the storyline. So it's all kind of like meshed together. So Sean and I are having to work together in a new way too. Usually we just pass stuff off back and forth, but now it's kind of like we're overlapping a lot. So... it's interesting. I'm imagining like a lot of wobbling. Like a wobbly head, wobbly, bouncy kind of body. So my strategy here is I just try, like I said, I draw as many as I can and then kind of go from there. Like I'll come look at these tomorrow and make some decisions on what I think of them. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm thinking I may have enough to work on for now and just like let it sit there. I'm trying to think of what's just not doing for me. One thing is, I think I got this backwards. I think I want the inside to be dark, the outside to be lighter, because I want it to look like a hole. Yeah, Gabriel, I don't have any input on Bitcoin. These legs need to be more like that. Well, that's cool. Enjoy, go learn something. I don't know, I think I'm gonna animate this one, see what happens. Oh, wow. Computers were quite big back in the day. You are correct. Goodbye, Gabriel. Down, down, up. Yeah, I don't think that arm being back like that's gonna work. I think it should just hang down. Well, all the times it should hang down. What? Ah, missing 5. Normal. All right, that's a good time to stop. So one thing I've learned about myself is there's only so much like creative juice in you, you know, like otherwise I just start going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. I'm not like thrilled with this, but I don't know. I gotta think about how robots move. At least it's the right size. So yeah, I may sit on this for a couple of days. Come back, look at it with some new eyes. Things that are kind of jumping out to me right now is I really like the idea of my character being yellow, but I may need to change some things up to make the arm stand out more, make it more visible. A few other things. I'm kind of seeing these legs right here, this part, as being a wasted pixel. I'm not sure what this adds. Well, let's look at normal. Especially since the legs are so stiff. The other thing that's been kind of jumping out to me, or what I've been considering, is the eyes. You know, the eyes, I want them to have the same idea as that these, wherever you see these black connections, these are going to be where there are possible upgrades for the character, and it would be cool if the eyes had upgrades as well. So changing the outline of the eyes to make it more obvious that that's also a upgrade that the character could get. And then the other thing I'm considering is doing a single wield for the normal feet. I mean, I don't really know what the benefit of having two wheeled legs if the legs are stiff. But I mean, none of it really has to make sense. It's, you know, it's a game. You can, any kind of logic we want to use. But, and then the other thing that I'll have to do before I really start, this was just me kind of thinking about animations, is going through and doing a cleaner palette. This is all just brainstorming kind of, well, it is not kind of, it is brainstorming work. So there's still a lot to think about. So anywho, thanks for everybody stopping by and said hi. See y'all later. Wishing everybody a fantastic day.